Well, hi there. Welcome to Bella's Vistas. Please like and subscribe. I hope you're going to enjoy this video. It sure was a lot of fun making it. We're just driving down the road here, and we're going to go to Elliston. But first, before we do that, this is Harry's Harbor. We stayed there overnight. It was so peaceful to watch the sun come down here. I got some star trails and whatnot here. People were wonderful to us. They gave us a big bag of fish there to have on our trip. Here you can see the sun is going down over Harry's Harbor. There's the Pinnacle, and it's a very famous Pinnacle. Here you can see the clouds. I'm doing a bit of a time lapse as the sun's going down. Then I got up in the middle of the night, which was pretty hard to do because I was really sleeping soundly, and I started making these photographs. One of the planets is just behind the Pinnacle. There's the star trails. In the morning, what a sunrise. Now we're on the highway again. We're going to go to Elliston. We're looking for puffins. But along the way, we stop and see some wonderful places, get some great photographs. It's just a super place to be. The scarecrow in the field there. You can see how the roads go through. You're sort of on a causeway here, blasting along past some of the harbors and little villages, fishing communities. There's not nearly as much fishing going on as there used to be, but there's still a little bit. Driving through Twillingate, wonderful buildings on each side of the road. It's so beautiful. Here's where we're parked up. We're going to camp out here overnight. There's the outhouse. We had some tremendous facilities here. Driving along, and I see this. This is Dead Man's Cove, if I remember correctly. I stop here to make some photographs. I'm going to use some HDR with the Olympus OM-1. Has a built-in HDR program. And I use some of our regular HDR software as well to make these prints. We're in Elliston. There's Bella outside one of the many root cellars. She's been here a couple times already. She loves it in the wind and the waves and the ocean. So beautiful. Nice and cool for her too. There's Mary and Bella right by the root cellar. There's Bella by herself. There's headed downtown. You can see two of the root cellars there. One of the houses here. Now we're out on Puffin Rock. Look at these puffins flying by. These are some of the best puffins I've ever photographed. They were so cooperative and so funny. I mean, really, they are really funny birds to watch. Just absolutely amazing. Just outrageous, basically, I think they are. Look at the way they strut along here. It's digging something out in the ground there, maybe some food, I'm not sure. The eggs are not hatched yet, but I'm going to go back there, hopefully, and get some shots when the eggs are hatched, and they'll be feeding the young. They kind of waddle around on the ground here. They're really interesting birds. Multicolored beak. They can actually fly underwater better than they can in the air. They kind of struggle to fly in the air. This is gaping, they call it, when the puffins, it looks like they're talking to each other, but there's no sound comes out. It's very strange. Here you can see them doing it, but it was totally quiet. There was no sound at all. They just strut around and have a lot of fun. Sometimes they fight with each other. It was kind of interesting watching a couple of them wrestling and rolling down the hill. I'd no sooner get focused on one than he'd start running around, and then my camera would focus on the other one. I'm still getting used to the OM-1. It's a little different for me. But these birds, they're just an amazing subject to photograph. There's the colony in behind them. Here's a couple billing together there. There's a mosquito flying by. They gave me quite an array of photographs, to be sure. Constantly changing scenery. They're running around. I don't know what they're thinking about or what they're planning, but it seems to be very deliberate the way they walk around sometimes. And that one's taking off. Be nice to spend the whole summer here and watch them throughout, from when they first get here till when they leave again. It's a wonderful place too to sit out on the rock and watch them. There were people there from all around the world. There you go, there's one of my flight shots, another one. So lucky with the shots that I got. The birds really seem to cooperate. This is a really long lens on a tripod, and the wind is just vibrating everything. I'm actually pushing the tripod down to hold it on the ground. So it's a little bit shaky on the video, but that's one of the nice things about still photographs. I can set the shutter speed high enough and you don't see any vibration at all. Look at that, wow. Whole crew. First time I ever photographed puffins, I think I only got one lone puffin, and it wasn't that great of a photograph. But these I'm really happy with. I'm hoping when I go back in about a week that they'll have the eggs hatched and they'll be carrying food to the nests, but we don't know if that's going to happen. Just have to wait and see. Look at that coming in for a landing. Notice the feet on the puffins. They have little toenails and webbed feet. Seagulls, some of the seagulls are like that too. The wind is really high and it's blowing them all around. You can see the waves there a little bit on the rocks with the seagulls. There's lots and lots of seagulls, but people like puffin pictures more than seagull pictures, I'm afraid. Mary shot some video here of the whales. The whales are going across in a line, maybe a dozen whales. You can see them blowing their spout every once in a while there. There's the back of a whale. Another spout. Another one. They're so far off, even with a long lens you can't get very much, but you can see how many there are. That makes me really, really happy to see that many whales swimming around. Didn't see any capelin coming in yet, but there must be some, because some of the codfish we were catching had capelin in them. Now we're just going along. Look at the whales. I mean, wow. See them breaching there. I think we got to see a tail here too. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure a whale tail came up. But you can see one going to the right and the other one's going to the left, so I think they must be sort of patrolling the beach here, scraping up capelin and what they can find. Beautiful sunsets here, just fantastic. Look at that, so peaceful. In the morning I went and got some water for our jugs. Here we are at the well, filling up our jugs. The people in the village told us about this well where you can just go in and get water. And when you're on the road, it's nice to get free water. So I'm filling up the jugs here. A funnel would come in handy, but there was a little funnel in there, but it was a really tiny one, so it would have been good for filling water bottles or something. But my aim is getting better the more I practice with this. Here Mary's holding the one jug so we can fill it up. We want to get on the road again. I mean, I've had so much fun at Elliston, but wherever you are, it's always nice to be headed somewhere else, I find. Now we're headed for Cape St. Mary's. We're driving out of Elliston. The road is pretty rough here, but we're on our way to Cape St. Mary's. And there will be some rough roads between Elliston and Cape St. Mary's, I know that. Rough roads, high winds, and lots of fog. So I hope you'll follow along with us and enjoy our adventures as much as we do. We've had so much fun this year. It's just been amazing. We covered the Gaspé, Prince Edward Island, and New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. Came across Newfoundland, saw a lot of lighthouses. But I think the birds at Cape St. Mary's are going to be a real treat. I really think you're going to like them. So from the Puffins and us, thanks for visiting Bella's Vistas. Please come on back again real soon.